Well, here we are again. Happy 2025 to all of you if I haven't wished you that already. Yep, driving home and just enjoying the view here in South Central Texas a day after we received a little dusting of snow. And everything just sort of shut down for a while because it got a little icy and people down here don't know how to handle that. But don't fault them for it. It doesn't happen that often. Kind of like 100-degree days in the Northeast. They don't happen much often. People freak out. That being said, the freak out should be over the number of unconditional pardons that former President Joe Biden gave before he finished his term of office on Monday, the 20th of January. I don't understand preemptive pardoning. I don't understand how somebody can be pardoned of a crime when they have yet to be charged with a crime. It almost makes one think that somebody is admitting guilt because he pardoned his son Hunter earlier in December. Then he pardoned his two brothers and his sister. They were all believed to be tied up in that Burisma deal with Ukraine and also to have some tentacles into China. Then he pardoned the entire January 6th committee, which was a farce in and of itself. That committee wasn't a committee. It was just a bunch of people appointed. None of them had a clue. None of them had any ability or concept of what they were doing. And then he pardoned one Dr. Anthony Fauci, Mr. COVID himself, Mr. Plandemic, Mr. 6 feet away saves lives. Oh, I made that up. You know, that guy, Fauci, was responsible for the deaths of so many people. Not just from COVID. But in case you didn't know, Fauci was with HHS or whichever federal organization that was part of the response to the AIDS crisis. Yes, folks. He's the reason why so many people in this country died of AIDS, because there was so much misinformation at the beginning, back in the 80s. You know, back when I was a kid. We didn't know what AIDS was. It was up to him to tell us, and he messed up. With that said, folks, that man needs to be behind bars. So do the Bidens. All of them, including Joe, because they used Joe's influence as a means of profiting. They profited off of his position as a U.S. Senator, as Vice President, as the President. No one should profit from that other than the salary they receive for that position. But they did, folks. So, knowing what we know, it begs the question, Are preemptive pardons legal? Can they be challenged? Can they be overthrown? If so, let's do it. Let's investigate all these people, find out if there was any wrongdoing, and prosecute them accordingly. Because you know, like I do, if their party affiliation was Republican instead of Democrat, they'd be investigating right now. And speaking of investigating, the most costly federal investigation in the history of this country, the probe into the events of January 6th, 2021. I am so glad that that is behind us. Those defendants, whether they were innocent or guilty, had their constitutional rights violated 50 ways from Sunday. And I am glad that they have been pardoned. Let them get on with their lives. There was no insurrection. There never was. No one was found guilty of insurrection. Don't believe the hype. Trump didn't order anything. Nancy Pelosi could have stopped it. She didn't. Muriel Bowser sounds like a character from Sha-Na-Na. Mayor of Washington, D.C., bucked Donald Trump's recommendation for additional policing. Almost like they wanted it to happen. Anyway, folks, I'd like to hear what you think. I'm glad that we've got a new president. I'm glad we're turning a new page for this country. Pray for President Trump, Vice President Vance, their families, and all the other leaders of this country. Let's all work together to make America great again. Thank you, folks. Please let me know what you think. Send some stars my way, because that's how I get bucks. I'd like some bucks, please. Thank you.